Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this afternoon I am going to be giving you a preview for the Liverpool Shrewsbury Town game in the FA Cup 4th round replay tomorrow night, 7:45 kick-off at Anfield. And Liverpool of course are looking to progress to the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time under Jurgen Klopp, because as it stands at the moment they have not progressed to the 5th round since Jurgen Klopp did get recommended in. Jurgen Klopp, as you all know, has already confirmed for this game he's going to be playing the under-23s, and of course he's not also going to be managing in that. And Jurgen Klopp has received a lot of criticism for playing the under-23s against Shrewsbury. People have different perceptions on it. Some people say it's the right decision, and some people say it's the wrong decision. From a Shrewsbury perspective though, they won't agree with it, because Shrewsbury did confirm that they do want to verse Liverpool's first team and that. But from a Shrewsbury perspective anyway, they will be delighted, taking this to a current replay, because obviously, they have generated money for taking it to a replay and that. Obviously, it was a 2-2 at Shrewsbury's ground. Obviously, Liverpool played quite a few first-teamers, but they also had a lot of their young uns out and that. And it wasn't a good performance by Liverpool at Shrewsbury's ground. Obviously, Liverpool should have still won the game, though. There was 2-0 up in the second half. Well, at the start of the second half, Liverpool were 2-0 up. The first goal was from Curtis Jones. He's now scored 2 senior goals for Liverpool. The second goal was from a Donald Love own goal. And, obviously, Shrewsbury came back into the game. Obviously, Jason Cummings came on. He scored both of Shrewsbury's goals. I think also Sean Wally, also provided an assist. But Shrewsbury, played really, really well in the reverse fixture, and Shrewsbury are sitting in League One. But I'd probably believe in this game at Anfield, Liverpool are still going to beat them, even with their under-23s out. I think Jurgen Klopp is playing the exact same team as he played in Liverpool's 5-0 defeat to Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season and that. Of course, Liverpool are coming into this game on the back of a 4-0 win against Southampton at the weekend. Very, very good win for Liverpool. I thought Southampton did quite well in the first half. They had some decent chances in the game. Because to be fair, I'll credit Southampton recently. Southampton have rejuvenated themselves, since that 9-0 thumping from Leicester. But Liverpool totally humiliated Southampton in the second half and that. So obviously, the FA Cup isn't a priority for Liverpool anywhere. Obviously, they're focusing on the league, because the league is their ambition. Liverpool now have won 24 games out of 25 in the Premier League. They're unbeaten in 42 Premier League games. They're unbeaten in 52, or is it 53 games at Anfield now, and they have registered around 73 points, from 25 games. So Liverpool are breaking records. Of course, if Liverpool do beat Shrewsbury, they will verse Chelsea in the next round. Probably more than likely they'll go out in that game, because obviously Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp are not too bothered about the FA Cup. Liverpool have not won the FA Cup since 2006. So I do believe in this game, obviously, he'll start Curtis Jones. I think he'll play. I think Larouche will play. I think Harvey Elliott will play. Williams will play and that. So all the under-23s are playing for Liverpool. So not one single senior player is playing for Liverpool and that. But Liverpool are going to be winning their 4th major honour this season under Jurgen Klopp, because they've already won 3 major honours this season of Liverpool. The most recent one they won was the FIFA Club World Cup. They also won the Super Cup earlier on in the season against Chelsea, and they also won the Champions League at the end of last season against Tottenham. In the English clubs, Liverpool have won the most Champions Leagues. Liverpool have won 6 Champions Leagues. But Liverpool are going to be winning their first ever Premier League title ever. It's going to be their 19th overall, because they've won 18 all first divisions at the moment, and they are, of course, going to end their 30-year drought. But yeah, I do believe Liverpool are going to win this game against Shrewsbury now. And I think now Jurgen Klopp's won around 150 odd games in the Premier League as Liverpool manager since Liverpool recommended him in back in October 2015 and that. But I've got to say, he is a very, very good manager, is Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool have also got a fantastic team and that, and like I said, they don't overpay for players. They're sensible with their recruitment. Liverpool, of course, did sign, Takuma Mino in January. Well, they did sign him before January, but he got officially announced at the beginning of January. Mino, I think he'll probably get more opportunities next season, because obviously he isn't a first choice at the moment. He is there as a backup. They paid $7.25 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. I think, in terms of transfers, Liverpool are considering, making some signings in the summer. They have got quite a few players on their agenda. Obviously, I think they've showed an interest in that Kai Havertz from, who does he play for, Bayer Leverkusen. Kylian Mbappe from PSG. Of course, I think he's the second most expensive player in the world. PSG paid a substantial amount for him from Monaco. And I think they've also expressed an interest in Jadon Sancho. I think Liverpool wanted to try and make a few more signings in the January transfer window though, even though they didn't really need any more signings. But the main explanation why they wanted to do this, Liverpool, is because, reflecting on the injuries they've had this season, obviously, they wanted some cover-up for their injuries and that. So, yeah, they could make some signings in the summer, could Liverpool. I think Liverpool will also consider getting rid of some players. I think they probably could get rid of the likes of Nathaniel Klein. Very injury-prone is Nathaniel Klein, and obviously he doesn't get in the team anywhere because Trent Alexander-Arnold is Liverpool's first choice. They got Nathaniel Klein from Southampton. But, Liverpool have got quite a few former Southampton players in their team. Klein, Adam Lallana, Sadio Mane, Virgil van Dijk. They've got quite a few. I think Adam Lallana is another player that Liverpool will consider getting rid of. He's another player that they could consider getting rid of. I think also too Georginio Wijnaldum is another player Liverpool could consider getting rid of. Perhaps maybe Shaqiri. Shaqiri's out injured at the moment. Shaqiri has sustained quite a few injuries this season. But Shaqiri isn't a 90-minute player. I think Shaqiri, tends to really make an impact from the sub. But again, he is good there as a backup, Shaqiri. Dico Origi, I think when he plays, he can play well. Again, he's a backup because he's behind the likes of Firmino, Salah and Mane, and that is Dico Origi. But I still think he's a pretty decent player and that, so probably maybe Liverpool may consider getting rid of one of their centre-halves because they have got quite a few centre-halves in their team. Maybe they could consider getting Dejan Lovren. He's another player Liverpool got from Southampton. Maybe they could consider getting rid of Joe Matip. He's just come back from injury and that. But, like I said, probably Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world now. Like I mentioned, they've got a fantastic goalkeeper in Allinson. He's probably one of the best in the world at this present time. Two fantastic fullbacks in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robinson. Trent Alexander-Arnold up until this point has spent the entirety of his career with Liverpool, progressing up their youth system. Obviously, Andrew Robinson, they only paid £3 million for him from Hull. Best centre-half in the world with Van Dijk. That's Liverpool's most expensive signing is Virgil van Dijk. I've got to say, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's been a revelation for them recently. He's done really, really well. Obviously Liverpool did get him from Arsenal. Was it for around £30 million? Also, he's a former Southampton player, is Chamberlain. But I think he was pretty decent at Arsenal, was Chamberlain. But I think he's doing really, really well now with Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, since his arrival at Liverpool, he's sustained quite a lot of injuries. But I think recently he's done really, really well. I think he scored in his last couple of games. Fabinho, I think he's also done well for them. Don't forget, he's just come back from injury not too long ago. James Milner is still out with injury at the moment, but he's still going strong, despite the fact that he's 30-odd years of age. Georginio Wijnaldum can play well. Naby Keita can play well for them. So Liverpool have got a lot of midfielders in their team. They've got a great attacking trio in Salah, Firmino and Mane. I think Salah, to be fair, recently has rejuvenated himself. I think did he score at the weekend against Southampton. I know I said that this season he hasn't really been clinical enough. He hasn't really seemed to have that clinical element, but he still has created a lot of good chances. I think Mane's been in better form than Salah this season, but obviously Mane's out injured at the moment. I don't know when he's back. I don't think it's been estimated when Sadio Mane is going to be back into action, so I can't give you an exact date. I think Firmino's been in good form for Liverpool. He's on a good, 11, 12 goals this season for them. But Liverpool have got a fantastic team. And like I said, I think now Liverpool are going to start to replicate, what we did in the 90s and the 2000s up until 2013 under Alex Ferguson. So they are now the dominant force, are Liverpool, and I think the only team that can stop Liverpool is Manchester City. And, they aren't playing as good this season as we all thought they would have done. But I think it isn't one season. It isn't Liverpool at one season wonders this season. I think, they are going to continue to persist doing this. So I think going on to next season, they're going to, try and win the Premier League game again. But they are breaking records, revert back to what I said, and they are unbeaten. They have not lost one game yet in the Premier League this season, and we're the only team to take any points from them. I think Liverpool can get 100 points this season at least. So I think minimum they can match Manchester City's record from a couple of years ago when Man City did register 100 points. I think actually, they can break Manchester City's record. They're on 73 points now, Liverpool, and that is a title win is 73 points, and there's still around 13 or 14 games left in the Premier League season. Liverpool could possibly still win the Champions League. It's not one of their priorities. They're very good in the Champions League. They've got a decent pedigree in the Champions League, and that, they won it last season, like I mentioned. They got to the final the season before, so they are capable of winning that. I don't think they'll win the FA Cup because, like I said, they're not taking the FA Cup too serious. But you've just got to say, Jurgen Klopp's done a really, really good job. But like I mentioned, Jurgen Klopp has always had a style of play. He had this style of play when he was at Borussia Dortmund, and I think he won a couple of titles when he was at Borussia Dortmund, and before that he was at Mainz 05, and he actually ended up getting relegated from when he was at Mainz 05, did Jurgen Klopp, and he extended his contract early on the season, so he is under contract with Liverpool until 2024. But I've got to be honest with you, I have a lot of honesty when I'm on YouTube talking, even if it's teams I hate. But Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world now. I think Jurgen Klopp's one of the best managers they've had in this generation. I think they've had some good managers over the years. I think probably the two bad managers Liverpool have had is probably Kenny Dalglish. Was a good player, wasn't a good manager though. They also had Roy Hodgson, he wasn't good, but he's managed a variety of clubs and he's still managing now. I thought Brendan Rodgers enjoyed one good season with Liverpool, definitely. They had the likes of Rafa Benitez who won the Champions League with them, Gerard Houllier. So Liverpool have had quite a few managers over the years and that. But I've got to say, Klopp is one of the best in this generation. But, Liverpool have come close on quite a few occasions to winning the league. They was unlucky not to win it last season because last season they finished on 97 points. And they only finished 1 point behind Man City last season. That they only lost one game last season. So Liverpool have lost like one league game out of their last 63, or is it 64 or something like that, which is very, very impressive, definitely. They came close under the Brendan Rodgers era, they came close under the Rafa Benitez era, so in a way they have been very, very unlucky. And everyone thought Liverpool would have crumbled, when they lost the likes of Philippe Coutinho. He enjoyed 5 good years with Liverpool, and Luis Suarez, but they didn't. They have, rebuilded, recruited the right players that they wanted in, and look at the position that Liverpool are in now. They're doing absolutely fantastic. They've still obviously got Man City to play in the league, haven't they? If I'm pretty sure they've still got Chelsea to play in the league. If Liverpool do lose this season, they will only lose one game. Honest to God, I think they can go undefeated this season now. They play expansive football, they can create chances, they score loads and loads of goals, defensively fantastic, and they're just a great side to watch. And I've got to be very, very honest about it and that. And Arsenal are the only team that are undefeated in the Premier League era at the moment. They did that back in 2004. as you all currently know. Also, whilst I'm on this video, I am going to give you a preview for the Tottenham Southampton game in the FA Cup fourth round replay. That's on Wednesday, 8:15 kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, obviously, Tottenham will be hopeful they can progress into the fifth round of the FA Cup. Probably the FA Cup is a priority for Tottenham. Also, too, the top four is a priority for Tottenham because now they are only 4 points behind Chelsea and that. So definitely, Tottenham are in that top four race. Of course, the game at St Mary's was 1-1, but I do fancy Tottenham to win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because actually, Tottenham have got a pretty decent record against Southampton. I know that lost to Southampton early on in the season at St Mary's, but I still believe Tottenham are currently, going to win this game. So, obviously, Tottenham are coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 win against Man City. You saw a match reaction yesterday. Of course, that was a very, very big win for Tottenham. I was very surprised because I thought Man City probably would have beaten them because City, in recent years in the league, have had a decent record against Tottenham and that. But, I think, City would have felt hard done by, like I mentioned, because, Tottenham actually, weren't so good in the game. City did create a lot of chances. Like I mentioned, City had like 18 shots in total, but they only registered 5 of them on target. Tottenham had 3 shots, 3 of them on target. 2 of them, of course, came from the goals. But Tottenham, would have been very, very delighted with that win because they haven't been so good this season of Tottenham. But it was, it was good from a Tottenham perspective, to see, Steven Bergwijn score on his debut for Tottenham. They just recently got him from PSV. It was it Lucas Moura that had got the assist of Steven Bergwijn's goal. Very, very good goal it was as well. And the second goal came from Lucas Moura, and Tanguy Ndombele had got the assist for that goal and that. And like I mentioned, there was a lot of talking points in the game. Obviously, should Sterling have been sent off in the first half with the challenge on Dele Alli? Man City, of course, missed a penalty through Ilkay Gundogan. Should City have had another penalty, straight after that when Hugo Lloris brought Sterling down? So there was a lot of talking points in that game and that. But it wouldn't have made a difference anywhere because City obviously not going to win the league, Even if they'd have won that game, they'd have still been, 19 points behind Liverpool and that. But it was a very, very good win, for Tottenham. And I think, Tottenham have got some decent players in their team. They've got that Gedson Fernandes. He obviously, wasn't playing yesterday. They got him on loan from Benfica, I think it was an 18-month loan. Steven Bergwijn's doing really, really well for them, scoring on his debut. That was good. I think he'll do really, really well at Tottenham, will Steven Bergwijn. Ryan Sessegnon, they got him from Fulham last summer. I think that Tanguy Ndombele's done well for them since his arrival from Lyon. He got an assist yesterday, like I mentioned. I think is Tanguy Ndombele an expensive signing, or is it their most expensive signing? But if he isn't the most, he's one of their expensive signings. But yeah, they've got some good players. I like Lucas Moura. I like Dele Alli. He's currently now injured, so he may not be playing for Tottenham on Wednesday. Obviously, Tottenham did lose Christian Eriksen to Inter Milan after Christian Eriksen did endure 6 or 7 years with Tottenham. Very good player he was for them, by the way. Danny Rose, of course, went out on loan to Leeds. I think Hugo Lloris isn't a bad keeper. He made some very, very good saves yesterday. I like that Toby Alderweireld for Tottenham. Serge Aurier. So yeah, they have got a very, very decent. They have got a decent team of Tottenham. I don't think they're good enough to challenge for the league as yet. It's going to be interesting to see, what summer Tottenham have. Obviously, Jose Mourinho will consider making more signings because he's made 2 signings at the moment, and that's Bergwijn and Gedson Fernandes. They also got Giovanni Lo Celso on a permanent basis. That got confirmed, and I don't think, Giovanni Lo Celso has done so bad for Tottenham, if I'm going to be quite honest with you in that. And, Jose Mourinho, would have just been delighted, to beat Pep Guardiola, basically. And, I know I've been saying on my recent videos that, Jose Mourinho has passed his sell-by date now. He's not a manager to the top level anymore. but he's still got a fantastic Wikipedia page because he has got a fantastic pedigree as Jose Mourinho. You know, basically reflecting on the amount of silverware that Jose Mourinho has won as a manager. In total at the moment, he has won 25 major honours as a manager in that. Obviously, he has. And obviously, you know, he's managed a variety of clubs. Obviously, Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, the main explanations why his 2.5 year tenure at Man United didn't work out is, you know, because he had bad disputes with the board. He had bad disputes with the top players, and the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in the summer of 2018. But I think Man United made a mistake, you know, by not recommending Jose Mourinho win at an earlier point. You know, he had 2 spells with Chelsea, did Mourinho. You know, he won about 3 Premier Leagues with them. He won the Champions League with Porto and Inter Milan. Won trophies whilst he was at Real Madrid and that. But yes, I just don't think he's a manager to the top level anymore. You know, Mourinho is under contract with Tottenham until, is it 2023? You know, he's on around £15 million a year. So he's on, I think, over double than what Mauricio Pochettino was on, because Pochettino must have been on around, is it what, 8 million a year with them and that. But, you know, Mourinho will want to make more signings because there's only 2 players that are his at the moment. So taking into account Mourinho is obviously, you know, inheriting, you know, quite a lot of players that Mauricio Pochettino did recommend in, because I think in Pochettino's 5.5 years with Tottenham, you know, he must have spent a good 200 odd million pounds on recruiting new players in and that. But, you know, maybe some Tottenham fans are happy with Mourinho, maybe some Tottenham fans are not happy with Jose Mourinho and that. With Jose Mourinho and that. But maybe Tottenham did make a mistake, you know, by getting rid of, you know, Mauricio Pochettino. They did make a mistake getting rid of him, because I thought he enjoyed a good 5.5 years with them. I know it's totally comparison to Jose Mourinho in terms of, you know, trophies and that, because obviously Mourinho's won trophies, Mauricio Pochettino hasn't won out as a manager. But I still think he's a decent manager, he's Pochettino. And, you know, he did really, really well with Tottenham. I know that if Pochettino is to get another job by the end of the season, that Tottenham are entitled to £10 million in compensation. Man United, of course, could still get Pochettino in, but if we are to get him in, it won't be until the end of the season. We won't get him this season, you know. Man United, you know, will stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, definitely in that. But Tottenham, for me, shouldn't have got rid of Mauricio Pochettino. So, reverting back to what I said, I think Tottenham will beat Southampton in this replay. They've no Sissoko, obviously. He's a long-term absence. Tottenham have no Harry Kane. You know, a lot of people say Tottenham are nothing without Harry Kane. No. He's obviously, you know, one of their best players is Harry Kane, but I think he's out for a while. Tottenham, obviously, you know, tried to recruit a striker in before the transfer window shut, due to the injury, of course, of Harry Kane. Don't forget, you know, they tried to get Odion Igalo off us. Dele Alli, of course, is now injured. I think Ben Davies has been out with an ankle injury. But I've got to say, for me, I think one of Tottenham's best players at the moment is Heung-min Son. I don't think he's better than Harry Kane and Dele Alli, because Harry Kane and Dele Alli are Tottenham's 2 main stars. But I think, reflecting on this season, Heung-min Son's done well. He's scored goals, he's created chances, you know, and he's, you know, just done really, really well for them. Definitely done really, really well for them and that. Southampton, you know, they're coming into this game against Tottenham on the back of a 4-0 defeat to Liverpool, like I mentioned. You know, to be fair to Southampton, you know, they have rejuvenated themselves recently. You know, they seem to have played quite well, you know, since they got that 9-0 thumping from Leicester earlier on in the season. You've got to credit for what Ralph Hasenhüttl has done, you know, at Southampton, basically. I think they're like sitting 9th in the Premier League and that. And they've had some pretty decent results this season of Southampton. You know, like I said, they're beating Tottenham in the league earlier on this season. You know, they drew with us. You know, they won at Stamford Bridge. You know. So they have done quite well of Southampton, to be fair. You know, they won at Leicester as well at the King Power. So they have done quite well. I can't remember if Southampton did make many signings in the January transfer window. They have got a few decent players. You know, Stuart Armstrong, he's currently out of injury at the moment. James Ward-Prowse, Ryan Bertrand, Danny Ings, who of course they did get from Liverpool. So they have got a few decent players of Southampton, to be fair. I think Southampton's expectations now this season probably will be to finish in the top half of the table and that. Don't forget though, take into account Southampton have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget Southampton lost Cedric Soares to Arsenal just before the January transfer window shut. He went out on loan to Arsenal. He's currently injured at the moment, no. Southampton did get Cedric Soares in 2015. And he did well for Southampton. He did make over 100 appearances for them. So he went, they've lost quite a few of their players to Liverpool in recent years, like I mentioned. They lost Klein, they lost Lallana, they lost Sadio Mane. They lost Virgil van Dijk, who was a very good centre-half for Southampton. They also lost Dejan Lovren to Liverpool. So they've lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. So, yeah, like I mentioned, I think Liverpool are going to beat Shrewsbury. I think Liverpool will win about 3-0 or 3-1. And I think Tottenham will beat Southampton 2-0. So they are my current score predictions. Score predictions, and there will be more videos coming up very, very soon, guys, so join me for that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.